So Andreas, thank you so much for coming to see us. We love your film and thank you for bringing us a new edit. You've worked in the horror genre in a number of different ways. You started arguably in the genre as an artist on heavy metal band album sleeves.
Yes, that's right. I started as comic book artist at the very first beginning, and I did horror comics, and found out that my style, which was a very photorealistic style, and which looked a little bit like these images you've seen here, was much too time-consuming to continue. So I had to stop with the comic book work, and I went heavy metal illustrator. So I did a very famous record cover for the band Kreator, which is called Coma of Souls, and this is perhaps the most famous worldwide spread artwork I did. And this artwork shows head of a sort of monster, a guy who has sewn his eyes together. And it's a very popular t-shirt artwork. And I got the opportunity to do a music video for this artwork.
So was it working with the bands on the covers that then led to directing music videos?
Yes, yes.
And then that led into a filmmaking career?
Yes, yes.
I know that you started as an editor.
Yes, it was a different period of time when I did this music videos, because rock music and pop music was a was a big business then, which is changed a lot with internet and illegal downloads and stuff. But in this time, the bands and the record labels, they spend a lot of money for music videos because they needed content for MTV, and it was possible to do wonderful things with music videos. You could tell real stories with it, and you had a budget. You had a budget for one music video, which is higher than the budget I had for this film. And
amazing.
Yeah, it was a completely different time. And when all broke down, and more the pop industry collapsed, which was starting end of the 90s. I started to edit TV films, and I edited a big periodical war movie called As Far As My Feet Will Carry Me for the cinemas. And by editing, I came to a co-directing job for a film called Track. It's a gangster movie, a Tarantino-style gangster movie, which was shot in Las Vegas. And this was my first entry in a feature.
But of course, you still had the interest in genre cinema and in horror.
Yeah.
And in the meantime, you're working on some ideas at the back of your mind, which then would come to be the film Tears of Carly. I know that was something that you worked on for a long time, a concept that you had for a long time. And obviously, given that you wrote and directed it, that's a brand new director, and the fundraising must have been quite difficult for your first feature.
I have to say that I've been a horror fan since I was 10, 12, 14, I don't know. I always loved horror stuff. And horror, short stories, comics, horror films was always my life. And for me, the decision to do a film as a director came from this film called Track, which I mentioned before, this gangster movie, because I had a little role in this film. I played a gangster in this film. And I had extreme problems to understand what the director wanted to tell me. I was completely helpless. I was standing in the heat of the Nevada desert in a black suit, and I was sweating, and I didn't understand what the director wanted. And I had to work with a coach, and this made me think, okay, this is very fascinating. How can you make an actor understand what you want to do? How can you direct an actor without blocking him and without making him insecure and stuff? And I started to get into this subject. I made a method acting workshop with John Kostopoulos, who is a very famous method actor method acting coach from New York, from the Actors Studio, and this led to interest in working with actors. And I went to this acting school in Berlin called Reduta, and gave camera acting exercises. And out of these exercises, my first film, Tears of Kali, evolved.
Yeah. So you work very closely with actors, and I think that's something that you'll have seen in Masks, that you sort of have a company, as it were, and you work very closely with a company, and that was certainly true of Tears of Kali as well.
Yes. For me, this school, which you see in Masks, this is a real drama school in Berlin. It's a Polish drama school called Reduta. And it's the head of the school is the lady in black, which is playing the second principal in the film, not the main principal, who is Magdalena Ritter, who's a famous German actress, but the other one, the Polish woman, the old Polish woman, is the real principal of this school, and she's the last living pupil or student of the famous acting guru Jerzy Kotowski. He's a very fascinating personality of the 70s who did extremely interesting experiments with actors, and he, of course, is the inspirator for Mateusz Gluller. And this woman led this drama school in Berlin, and as well Tears of Kali as Masks was hugely supported by her. And a lot of these actresses you see in the film, they are students from the school. Many of the biggest part of the cast is made of students from this school.
So there's a sense of life reflecting art then, I suppose, as well.
It's very. There were a lot of influences between my work with this acting classes and what I wrote in the screenplay, the idea that teachers are drinking the blood of students.
Italia Conti.
It just came to me when I saw on one side you have got these young people who would do everything for fame. They would do everything. They think they would die if they will not get a famous actor. On the other side, you've got the teachers who are experienced ex-actors, and they hadn't reached this fame, and so they work with younger people, and it's a strange sadomasochistic. What do you call
relationship?
Relationship, right? It's a very strange sadomasochistic relationship, and this was the basic idea for Masks. And when Masks was finished, not everybody in the school really liked it, because the idea that the teachers drink the blood of the students wasn't so...
All true. But to return